Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're in for another episode of Rolling Reactions. Today's episode features an absolute legend of our sport, both as a skater, but also as a content creator. You know him as the host of Jump Street Podcast, and his name is Billy O'Neill. Now, I absolutely love Billy's skating. More importantly, I love his work as an ambassador to skating. But today we're going to rewind the clock and take a look at some of his professional profiles as a skater, starting with his most recent one in Duo Part 3. Then we'll go back in time to one of his parts with Razors in the Ego video, and lastly, we'll wrap it up with his profile in Mindgame Accidental Machines. All three of these are great sections, and he's a tremendous skater. So let's take a look. All right, first we'll begin with Billy's profile in Duo Part 3. And this one's relatively recent. I think this came out originally in 2020 or 2021. And it's showcasing the fact that even after all of these years, Billy can still throw down on a pair of inline skates. Even this opener is pretty interesting. He's trying to get one more try in before getting kicked out of the spot. This little drop rail ledge thing. And sometimes you just need that added pressure of one final try to get it done and get out of there. Look how happy he is. He's like, we got it, we're out. And I think that's a universal experience in skating that we've all probably dealt with at some point or another, is getting booted out of the spot. Nice Savannah to drop there, front Savannah. We call that alley-oop unity, but I won't get into that here because I know it's controversial. And it's really interesting how much Billy O'Neill's style has evolved over the years. He definitely was part of that like hip-hop look in terms of the clothing and the style early on in his career. And now it's almost like a rocker type of grunge style. And I think either way, he does it better than the vast majority of skaters that I've ever seen. I think that's a testament to one of the universal truths in skating, is it doesn't really matter how you dress, how you perform your tricks. Everybody has their own flavor and personality that gets infused into it. And I've got a lot of respect for every type of style out there. Now, Billy O'Neill's nickname is Fish, and you can see why there. He's getting that fish brain on the big out ledge. And speaking of fish brains, really close wall fish brain on that square rail. It's a really beautiful trick. Going front torque there. Spinning into that one. And, you know, Billy O'Neill has done a lot in his career. He's known for some of the biggest gaps and some of the largest stunts that have been done. And also has all those technical tricks as well. Really fat rail on that one. I bet that was hard to Macchio. He's produced a lot of video parts as well. I know I've covered a few other ones on this channel before. One of my favorites of all time is his part in freestyle rolling, the Be Unique video. That is such a legendary part. And this fish brain makes no sense to me. Just kind of like rides it over to the other side. Unreal. Going up the dock here. Pulling a lot of speed into that one, and locking into that true spin Macchio would be incredibly terrifying that high up, because if you miss that foot, it trips you out and you're going for a ride. So a lot of commitment on that one. I think that's something else that a lot of skaters are aware of, is when you're doing tricks, sometimes it is safer to go in much faster and just rely on the confidence to carry you through. Really nice true spin fish brain. One of my favorite tricks of all time. Look at this, riding off the top of the roof here. Very unconventional gap, but exactly the kind of thing you would expect from Billy O'Neill, especially looking back at some of his larger body of work with some of the big gaps and disasters that he's done. In fact, I believe I have at least a couple of tricks from Billy O'Neill in my top 20 biggest tricks of all time videos. So definitely go check those out if you haven't seen them. All right, next we'll hit him with the Razors video Ego. And Razors had an amazing team back in these days. Brian Aragon, Billy O'Neill, Dre Powell, Mike Murda Johnson. The list goes on. And I loved watching those videos, and this one is no different. This is a great part. A lot of big transfers and big tricks in this video. Also, some of these switch-ups are very unconventional. I don't think I've seen a lot of fish brain spinning the same, alley-oop fish brain the same direction to Ford Porn Star. Or this one, the fish brain to True Spin Soul. Very unconventional switch-ups, but that's the thing about Billy O'Neill, is he has that level of technicality and stunts together. And that's what I remember him for with a lot of these early sections. Like even this, doing the big rail transfer, and then jumping over the stairs. And here again, I would count this as a rail transfer, but jumping over the rail into the far side rail. Or this one, going over the rail to fakie. That's a really big leap. You know, I mentioned this earlier, but Billy O'Neill had a couple of flips in what I would regard as some of the biggest tricks ever done in blading. And one was a rail transfer like that over another rail into a 360 topsole. I think it was in his Shima Skates video. I don't remember for sure, but if you guys haven't seen that, you need to see that one because that's just unbelievable. Obviously, he's really frustrated here. I think we've all been there as skaters before where, you know, it's just not clicking for you and eventually makes it all the more rewarding when you finally land it. Speaking of rail transfers and fish brains, who does an alley-oop fish and then transfers over to another rail? Again, that's probably why they call him Fish, because he is a master of fish brains. Another transfer here. Like I said, this section is just chock full of rail transfers. Even this I would count as a rail transfer. And look at that, going like the soul grind to 360 far side topsole on a 90-degree angle. Very unconventional. And this is on my list of one of the biggest tricks ever done. Massive disaster, true top horn. That's a really hard trick on its own right, but you throw in the disaster in there as well, and dangerous. This too, look at the amount of speed coming in on that one. Massive drop off that one. I mean, just hammer after hammer here. And as we saw in the previous section, being all these years later, Billy hasn't lost a step. Like, he's doing so much for blading as a skater, but also as a podcaster, bringing on these different voices onto the Jump Street podcast, interviewing people, shining a spotlight onto different segments of our culture. And so that's something that I think can't be understated, is just how much he's done in different ways in skating. Gotta catch up with him here. He covered a lot of ground after that. Take the high five. All right, lastly, we'll hit you guys with one more Billy O'Neill profile, and this is Accidental Machines. This is one of the Mindgame videos, and Mindgame was another one of those teams that was just a star-studded cast. Just like the previous videos, you're going to see a lot of major gaps and stunts out of Billy O'Neill, as well as some of these ridiculous tech tricks. Like that, going front torque to alley-oop sole, and he even got the grab on the way out. Doesn't make any sense. That's a lot of footwork to happen in a really short period of time. It's been a while since I've watched this video. I actually have this one on DVD, and this was one of the videos that, like, I was incredibly excited to purchase when it came out. I kind of missed those days, actually. Look at that cross grab front torque. But you know, when videos were on DVD and you have to, like, put in a pre-order and get them from a skate shop, and then eventually they'd be shipped out, and then you're watching it for the first time, maybe inviting friends over to watch with you. Massive 540 buy over that stair set. That was a thing of beauty. But it was just a whole different vibe back in those days of watching skate videos, where now there's so much stuff that's just available at any given moment on the internet that it kind of robs it of some of the specialness of coming together to watch a skate video. Nevertheless, the skating here is certainly special. It's a really photogenic rail there. Weird, like, out kink rail with the ledge on the side. Oh, I forgot about this clip, but look how wild this is. I always wondered, like, how that rail works. It almost looked like two different rails that were weaving into each other. And this cannot be overstated how dangerous this looks. Like, imagine if you missed or if you fell off that first part of the rail, you could run the risk of getting impaled by the second rail. So, I don't know. That's terrifying to me. Setting up for some speed here. What do we got? A gap coming up would be my guess. Yeah, another one of those typical Billy O'Neill 540s, and he 540s so good. And when I think of freestyle rolling, some of his 540s and that just live in my mind. Another front torque. Master of front torques, that's for sure. Ooh, 450 front farv. I can't tell if that was a true fish. I think that was a true fish, and if so, unbelievable. I think that was the same out ledge that Austin Paz did the true spin topsole. And then he did like a rewind video where he went back to the ledge and talked through that trick. That's a pretty cool video. You should check that one out if you haven't seen it. Massive gap into that down ledge. Oof. Scary trick to go down backwards on. That is for sure. You'll notice too, like, in this video, I think all of the parts had this, like, coloration effect, this filter, where it's really one-dimensional in terms of the colors, but I don't know, I've always kind of liked that aesthetic for this. It's almost like a black and white. Wall. Is this a wall rail or is it a wall ledge? I don't even know what to count that as. Oh, he's skipping it. He had me fooled. He's doing the top part. Look how big that is. High jump, gets the grab out, perfectly rolls away. That's picturesque right there. That's exactly what you'd hope for as a skater or a filmer. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode covering Billy O'Neill. Again, I think Billy O'Neill deserves so much more credit than he gets, not only for his skating, which he has proven time and time again over the years, but more so for his ability to unify the entire skating community, offer a platform for different people to come on and voice their opinions and showcase their skills through the Jump Street podcast. I'll leave a link down in the description below. If you haven't checked out the Jump Street podcast, you really need to, because it's a great place to feel the pulse of the inline skating industry. Anyway, much love to you, Billy. Keep crushing it, and best wishes with your new skate company, Mesmer Skates. They're absolutely killing it right now, and I've got nothing but good things to say about them. Anyway, guys, I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, reminding you to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some blading. Till then, we'll see you all with the next one. Peace, everybody.